Round 1. Fight! Fighting games are back in a big way, but while you can argue about whether it was Tekken 6, Street Fighter 4, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 or Mortal Kombat that brought gamers back to the fold of crowding around the arcade stick, there's one thing we can all agree on. Today's fighters look a lot better than the games we grew up with. Back then, characters looked like carefully chiseled blocks of tofu. I'm looking at you, Virtua Fighter. Nowadays, veins bulge and fighting moves are fluid and flashy, but the most overlooked element of the experience is what's going on in the background. Whether crashing through crates in front of strung-out military servicemen, avoiding being eaten by killer trees and clowns, or punching our opponent in the face in a back alley, hoping to win the affection of local winos, it's all too easy to get distracted by the combat. So what are developers hiding back there? Here's just some of the things we spotted in the background for Street Fighter Cross Tekken. There's no shortage of in-jokes to see during the first of this two-part construction backdrop. Randomly appearing billboards show Street Fighter series producer Yoshinori Ono and Tekken's Katsuhiro Harada, an ad for Alfuerte's new restaurant, or a sign with Enero, Cammy, Junie, and Julie looking all corporate as they advertise for Women's Monthly magazine. To the far left and way in the distance, a Rufus billboard shows that while the big guy may be eating himself to an early grave, at least his ego's still reasonably healthy. Here we see him claiming to be the #1 fighter. As we drop down to street level, we see the diner backdrop from Street Fighter 4 covered in graffiti, and brothers Yun and Yang skating vert and standing around and drinking in the action. The guy in the blue hoodie here is wearing a Street Fighter shirt, while another here is wearing a Tekken outfit. This one is a little more focused on the fighting up front, but you'll still get a good look at Mecha Zangief as he struggles, locked out of the pod bay doors by Hal. He can't hold on forever, but the graces of gravity give him a chance to be the next Russian in space and do the Rusky Boogaloo with GLaDOS. Like a game a little more grounded in reality? Well, this one's probably not for you either. In the prehistoric stage of Street Fighter Cross Tekken, we find out what Shadaloo has really been spending its cash on. Building its own freaking Jurassic Park. The first part doesn't give much away, but as round 2 spills into the jungle, you'll spot a familiar logo on the crates and truck, as well as a cameo by boxing dino Alex from Tekken 2 and Tekken Tag Tournament. Now you're talking, back to where it all began. Bare-knuckled fisticuffs in car parks to work out how much wood a woodchuck could chuck, or which brand of mayonnaise is the creamiest, or whose sister is hotter, or whatever the hell it is they were fighting about. Here we see Blanca and E.Honda painted on the side of trucks, alongside art from his Street Fighter 2 bathhouse level. By night we see someone wearing what looks suspiciously like Chuck Green's leather jacket from Dead Rising 2. Capcom's own office doesn't escape a good poke with the fun stick, and this outdoor area shows what happens when robots take over. Nancy the giant mech from Tekken 6 has taken a fall, Servbots are losing their heads, and Shadaloo tanks appear here and here. You'll need to squint a bit, but on the far left, high and out of the way, this poster looks a lot like artwork from Mega Man. Here on the rooftops we see Ninja Chikabuki's friend Soraya Kurosawa playing with Tekken's Kunimitsu. In part 2, tiny gold Kuma statues watch from the sidelines, while Guy Fawkes, or perhaps a member of Anonymous, hides from the spotlight. By far though, the level with the most in references is this last one. Nothing too unusual, right? Right? Wrong. What looks like a perfectly normal kabuki scene is really quite an elaborate final fight reunion. Look closely and you'll see guest appearances from not only Hagar and Sodom, but Hugo rocking a dress, a less buff looking Damned, and Jay throwing down a beat on the drum, while bent Metro City cop Eddie E plays sick licks on the guitar. That's just a taste of the stuff going on in the backgrounds of Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Saw something we didn't mention? Tell us about it and your other favourite fighting game backdrops in the comments below.